Hi, this is Valerie Van Boeven, and we are going to talk about 20 minutes to a better home care business. If you follow my advice in this 20-minute presentation, you'll be able to capture many more leads, and you'll be able to maybe even get a lead a day. But you got to follow my advice, and this is some hard work. So you ready? Here we go. First of all, introduction. My name is Valerie Van Boeven. I'm a registered nurse, and I've been teaching home care agency owners and senior service providers how to increase their business and their leads since 2008. We've been doing this a very long time, and we've serviced hundreds of home care agencies across the country. So, having said that, let's get right into the meat of things. And the first thing we want to talk about is your website. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of online stuff and a little bit of offline stuff, meaning networking and things like that. But putting it all together will get you many more leads than you've been getting. So let's talk about this. First of all, your website. Your website needs to be 2014. And by that I mean that it needs to have great calls to action. You can see my little red arrows. Those little red arrows are not really on this website. They are actually just to show you the calls to action and the information that a prospect would need in order to make a decision to pick up the phone or fill out a form. And really, that's all we care about. We want our prospects, our adult children of aging parents, to either pick up the phone or fill out a form. That's all we care about. We don't care about a multitude of senior resources and insanity. What we care about is getting them to take an action, because you want to increase your revenue. So everything needs to look pretty, everything needs to look nice, but at the end of the day, the call to action is what matters. So you can see at the top of this that we put the service area for this home care agency on the first part of the screen, so the person knows immediately, yes, this home care agency serves my mom, my dad's area, and they would be a perfect fit as far as location. Next, call for information and pricing, 410-394. You have to get there's an elephant in the room with home care, especially non-medical, and that is, how much is this going to cost? Does Medicare pay for it? Does Medicaid pay for it? Does anything pay for it besides my mother, my father, or me? And the answer usually is not much. So you want to make sure that the person feels comfortable asking about pricing. If they're going to ask anyway, you might as well get it out there. The next thing you see, my third red arrow, at the bottom red arrow, is contact us for info and pricing. Again, but this time it's a form. So if they don't want to talk to somebody right this second, maybe they're not in a place where they can talk, they can fill out a form and have somebody contact them later. Awesome. Fill out a form or make a phone call. The end. Those are the two things you want people to do. You don't care what they click on otherwise. You don't care about much else. You really want them to connect with you somehow. And these are the two things that they should have an option to do. So this is what your website needs to present. Now, this website also needs to be mobile optimized. So if we were to squish it down and look at it on our iPhone or our iPad or our Android or our tablet, it would look amazing even then. And the calls to action would always be at the top. So if your website is not mobile optimized, it should be. And you do not need two websites for mobile optimization. One website can take care of everything. You should never have two websites just for mobile efficiency. It's unnecessary. So if someone's trying to sell you that, forget it. So this is a website that would meet the criteria for a 2014 website. The next thing you need to have in 2014 for more leads is you need to have content. And you need to have content every single week. So what you're looking at here is a blog page, and you can see that now this is obviously, these dates are a screenshot from a while back, but you can see every single week they have content added to their blog. And it's stuff that people care about. It's also company news. You know, they could even add here caregiver of the month, caregiver of the week, any senior fairs they've attended. This is where the news about your community, for your community, and about your company would go. And you need to do that every week. This has to be search engine optimized content. This cannot be a fail. This has to happen. And it can't be generic corporate national content or something copied from another website. No. It needs to be your content optimized for your local area with your towns and your information, not something that came from a corporate office that's generic in nature that some writer wrote and put on 400 different blogs. That ain't gonna get it. your content. 500 words, a picture, unique to you. If you don't have time to write it, hire somebody to write it. It is not that hard. We do it all the time. In fact, we probably write, I don't know, somewhere around 500 to 600 articles a month for home care agencies. So if you're looking for writers and blog posters, you're listening to a company that does that right now. So it's not that hard, and you can get it done for you. Next, you need to have a presence on other websites. So what you're looking at is our authority sites: Alzheimer's Care Today, SeniorCareStress.com, HelpForAgingVeterans.com, Senior Home Safety Issues, Live and Care for Seniors, and Reduce Hospital Readmission Rates. Now, we have more than this, but we always put our clients on all of these sites as authors, and we have the content written for them. So they look professional, they've contributed content, the content is relevant to the website, it's relevant to what they do, and it's also relevant to their own website. So these are the things, and we use Google authorship for everything. So these are the things that really make a difference when it comes to being #1 on the first page of Google and getting more leads. Your website has to be great, it has to have great content, and you need to have a presence on other websites as well. If your current SEO company isn't providing that service, then you're missing, I'd say, 75% of what needs to be done for you in order to really get more leads from your website. And of course, social media is super important. So in the social media realm, there are only a few accounts that are really super important for home care. I would say that for our clients, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, and Google Plus are pretty important. Now, YouTube is only going to be important if you have videos to add to it. Google Plus is always important because that has to do with Google authorship. Pinterest is important because you need to be pinning those posts, which we do for our clients. LinkedIn is important for professional referral sources. Facebook is important as a community outreach. And last and least in the home care industry is Twitter. Twitter's not that important for home care because you're never going to get a client in 140 characters or less. However, I think it is important that you have an account set up and that it is active. When we have clients that we put all this together for, we're doing the blog posting, we're doing everything for them, we actually tweet, post to Facebook, post to LinkedIn, pin on Pinterest, and post to Google Plus for them. We do all of it. So they never have to do it. Although we do encourage participation, we get everything done for them. And it's done every single week without fail. Next, reviews. You need to have reviews, but you don't need to have reviews and testimonials that are on Google Plus. You should have a couple if you can, but I wouldn't advertise it. Yelp, Foursquare, Google Places. It's important to have those. I mean, let me back up a minute. Google Places is extremely important to have that account set up. It's not extremely important to rely on it to get reviews because a disgruntled employee could leave a bad review there in an instant. It will never be removed from your Google Plus account. However, if you ask me if Foursquare and Yelp are important, I would say in home care, probably not, because you are a service going out to the home. People don't come to your office and check in. Some people have been sold the Yelp and the Foursquare mantra that, you know, everybody should have one. It's not going to hurt anything to have one, but really at the end of the day, it's just like Google Plus. If you're a disgruntled employee or you're a really crazy daughter of someone who's very difficult to take care of gets a hold of it, they will leave tons of bad reviews, and then you'll be sunk because home care agencies typically don't get that many reviews to begin with because it's a very overwhelming, emotional, fairly private kind of a medical issue. So this is not like you're a restaurant or an entertainment venue. Use a system that was designed for home care. Get rid of all that other stuff, but you do need to have a Google Places page. But make sure that you're using senior service reviews. It's designed for home care. It's designed for assisted living. It's designed to take anyone who's upset and put them into a customer service mode instead of broadcasting insanity on the web about you that doesn't need to be broadcast. So use senior service reviews to your advantage. It does show up. It is coded as a review service. The reviews show up online with 5 stars next to them. And Google does recognize it as a valid review service. This is what's designed for home care, assisted living, and any other senior service. You should be using senior service reviews. Okay, this is your newsletter. Now, we've talked about content, and every single week without fail, you should have content on your website that is new and fresh, that is unique to you, and that is optimized for your local area. And then you should have a newsletter that goes out that contains all that content, and you should be able to set it and forget it. This is an example of a newsletter. These newsletters do not need to be insanely creative. They do not need to be full of HTML to the point that they're considered spam. They should be clean, neat, easy to navigate, easy to receive in the inbox, and they should have a list of all your articles for that month, and they should have any other social media or anything else you want somewhere in the newsletter, like at the bottom or whatever. This is just a screenshot of the top of the newsletter. And you'll notice that it matches the website I showed you, the messaging matches, the logo matches, the service area matches, and the phone number matches. Everything matches. And the calls to action are the same. You want to give the consumer the same messaging or the referral source the same messaging over and over again so they know how to get a hold of you. Okay, so that is your newsletter. The next thing we're going to talk about is a little story. I've told this on a couple of webinars. I'm going to go through this quickly, and you'll be able to see how you can take the web a step further. And this has to do with offline marketing. So you've got all of your web presence in order. Let's say you've done all the things that you're supposed to do up till now. I've showed you all of that. And now I'm going to tell you a couple stories about Jane. Jane has many connections in her local community, but there are about 10 or 15 people or organizations that she would love to get referrals from. So she selects 3 to start: a local assisted living facility, a local rehab, or a skilled nursing facility, and a local hospice. She's going to start with these 3 folks. Jane sends each key decision maker or her best contact for that facility an email and then follows up with a phone call, and here's what she says. Dear Martha, so Jane's talking to Martha, and Martha is at the assisted living facility, by the way. Dear Martha, hope this note finds you well. It was great meeting you last week at the chamber meeting. Our company, ABC Home Care, has a website, a blog, and a monthly newsletter that goes out to 600 consumers and business people in our area. Plus, we are very active on Facebook and LinkedIn, and those are key to this. I was wondering if I could feature you and Autumn Oaks Assisted Living through a brief article that will appear on our website, on all of our social media, and in our next monthly newsletter. We like to feature other businesses that serve seniors in our community. If this is okay with you, I just need to schedule an appointment to meet with you at your office. I have a brief set of questions, and I'd like to take a picture of the front of the facility. Please let me know a time and a day that work for you. I will also call your office today and leave you a message about this on your voicemail if you aren't available. Sincerely, Jane Doe. Martha reads this email, and here's the voicemail. She thinks this is a great idea, and she's very flattered. She sends a note back to Jane, and they set up an appointment for the following week. Jane and Martha meet. Jane interviews Martha about the features, amenities, and advantages that Autumn Oaks Assisted Living brings to their community. They also talk about referrals, referral sources, about Jane's home care business, and much, much more. And Jane and Martha have a lot in common, and they become friends. Now notice, folks, that Jane did not ask Martha for anything but a moment of her time so that she could feature her on Jane's website. And that is a nice thing to do, and it opens many doors. A week later, Martha at the assisted living facility receives 2 items. She receives an email from Jane with a link to their latest newsletter, Facebook page, and their blog. And a family calls to talk to Martha about their father, who is considering assisted living. They heard about Martha and Autumn Oaks through Jane's newsletter. They set an appointment to tour the facility. 1 month later, Jane gets a referral from Martha, and the month after that, Martha gets 2 referrals from Jane. They have established an ongoing referral relationship. Jane asked for nothing but a small piece of Martha's time. Martha received the first piece of business from this relationship, which is a happy, unintentional consequence, and Jane is a new partner in the local community. And so the question I have for you all is this: how many times can Jane repeat this process with other potential referral sources in her community? And the answer is as many times as she wants. She can do this over and over again, and she could have tons of referral partners in her community. So now let's talk about avoiding follow-up failure. We've already talked about newsletters a little bit, so I'm going to show you how newsletters avoid follow-up failure, which is a huge problem. Jane talks to a lot of referral sources, and their excellent online presence generates a lot of leads. So they have a great website with lots of leads coming in. Maybe they're buying some leads, and Jane has a lot of referral sources. She's very busy. So even though she's great at what she does, she's also very busy. And sometimes leads and referral sources fall through the cracks. Jane knows that without a firm follow-up system, her company is losing revenue to the competition. So Jane's first and most important task is to make sure that her contact list is up to date. This includes all of her leads from the last year, families and seniors, her referral sources, and other vendors. Jane's next task is to make sure she has a monthly newsletter that goes out to all of her contacts and it's automated. She can set it and forget it, like Ron Popeil. And there's my picture of Ron Popeil. Pretty funny, huh? But wait, there's more. So there's that newsletter I showed you before. Her third task is to remember that every piece of content she puts on her blog will go out in the automated newsletter. No content, no newsletter. So every week she adds a new article or pays someone else to do it for her. Ding, 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 ding. Her fourth task is to set up autoresponders. An autoresponder is an automatic email that goes out to a lead or referral source at set intervals to remind them about Jane's business and ask them how they're doing. So in other words, someone fills out a form on Jane's website and then they get an automated email that thanks them for filling out the form. Someone gets in touch with them, and then a few days later another email goes out asking them how they're doing, following up. And then a few days after that, maybe a tip, a caregiver tip, something else. So it's important to personally follow up with people, but it's also important that you might want to consider having an autoresponder set up to reach out to them every week, say for the next 6 weeks. So Jane's plan works and her revenue goes up 10% over the next 3 months. Why? Because she's avoiding follow-up failure. So here's what I want to let you know. If you were to go out and get all your referral partners together and you were to make sure you were avoiding follow-up failure and your website was in tune and doing the right thing for you and you're adding weekly content or paying someone else to do it, if all those things are in place, and this is not a small piece of work, even if you're paying someone else, you still have to make the effort. If you're doing all of those things, then you will receive more leads, increased revenue, and it will definitely pay off in the end. You have to be the face in your community that people want to see, that welcome. So if you need everything to be done for you, except for the piece that means shaking hands and looking people in the eye, we can't do that for you, but we can help you do it better. So if you need a website or weekly content or a better call to action or authority sites, presence or social media or reviews or newsletters, or you need more understanding about how to use your online presence to get in the door with potential referral sources and leads, and you need more help with avoiding follow-up failure, we can do all of that for you. Some people do not need a website. Some people do need a website. Some people don't need weekly content. Some people do. Most people do, because that's a really big time-consuming issue. Most people need a little help with their social media, but some people already have it set up. There's all kinds of different folks out there who need different things. And what I want you to know is that no matter where you are with all of this, whether it's and where you are with your budget, we can help. You should call and talk to my business partner, George, at 888-404-1513, or email him at george@ltcep.com. It's that easy, and we'll get you taken care of. This is the other thing I want to talk to you about. It is April of 2014. If you're watching this video later, things may have changed, but here's where we are today. We have a private exclusive home care lead program that's launching this at the end of this month. And right now we're only using that with our private clients. It's very innovative, and we are very selective in who can participate and which markets we're going to launch this in. And so we will be opening it up in the next 30 days to other interested parties besides just our clients. So if you would like to know more, you need to go back to our website at ltcsocialmark.com/interested. Now, there are a lot of forms on our website. The one I want you to fill out is the one that says /interested. And when you do that, we can get you on our list and we can help learn more. We can learn more about you. George can contact you and find out if you're a good fit for the program. So I want you to go to that exact URL and fill out that exact form, and we will let you know if you qualify to be in our leads program. And wait a minute, my screen went blank and I have one more thing to put up. There's George. Okay, so contact us if you need help with websites, content, newsletters, more online leads. ltcsocialmark.com is our website address. 888-404-1513 is our number. email George, my business partner, at george@ltcep.com. And if you're interested in the private program for leads, then you want to go to ltcsocialmark.com/interested. And just so you know, whether you're a franchise owner, an independent home care agency, assisted living that's big, assisted living that's small, we've helped all different folks all over the country and in Canada. So you're welcome to call us, and we will do what we can to help you. And that is how you get more leads, and even possibly a lead per day. Thank you so much. This is Valerie Van Boeven, and I look forward to talking to you more. Bye-bye.